When we last left off, I posed you a question. The line was, "Heartless fiends who point their arrows at our holy kingdom. If you wish to set foot inside Arcania Palace, then you'll have to kill me first." I asked you to guess who says that line. If you answered Astrum, then you were wrong. If you answered George, you were also wrong. If you answered Heimler, well, I don't really need to say anything. The correct answer was in fact Midia. Yes, this in fact was an unused battle conversation from this chapter in the original Mystery of the Emblem. So it seemed as though, in early development, instead of being a hostage to be rescued, Midia was in fact going to be an enemy you fought in this chapter. Some people think maybe she believed Hardin's lies, I don't know, maybe she was brainwashed, maybe she was forced into doing it or something. Maybe in the same way Horus was in, back in Shadow Dragon. I mean, if you threatened to, execute some civilians, Midia probably would, fight just to save them. And if this was the case, I'm guessing you would recruit her with Astrum, and that would form a nice reversal of, the recruitment back from Shadow Dragon. So, yeah, this is interesting, but of course, this wasn't to be, since this idea was obviously scrapped. Still, it's kind of interesting to think just what would the situation would have been like if Midia was an enemy in this chapter. Would it have played any differently? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe, in fact, Midia was going to be like Abel's role back in chapter 15. Or an Abel wasn't actually planned to have that role yet. I don't know, really, we can't really know these things, but it's interesting to think about it. But now, without further ado, the thrilling conclusion. Okay, we're back, and fighting off some more reinforcements. Yeah, I believe there's more ways here, but first let's open the chest for a Brave Axe. Yes, let me just spoil a few right here. All the Brave weapons are here in this chapter, in the chest. Of course, back in Shadow Dragon, you actually couldn't get Brave weapons without using the online shop. So, yeah, now, remember how I said this before, Elysian Whips were previously exclusive to the online shop, but now you can get them through, regular chests and, you know, just general in-game stuff? Well, Brave weapons are like that too, except they come very late. And in fact, if you haven't got all the spears, then, well, this is the only chapter you have to use them, so make as much use of them as you can. If you don't, though, you probably want to save them for later. Of course, the Brave weapons, I'm pretty sure they can be forged, and they're, yeah, very, very useful on Wi-Fi. And there you'll see just how much experience these guys give you, like, massive, massive, massive experience. Please get speed, please get speed, please get speed, please get speed, please get speed. Oh, come on! You know, okay, I'll just say this, in my runs where the game crashed, Ryan did in fact gain speed on, I think, both his level ups. So of course, you know, the game has to choose to, for the run that actually succeeds, give me all the bad level ups, of course. I may have to actually fix Ryan's speed with stat boosters, it's getting so badly screwed. Why is his speed getting screwed? I suppose at 50% it is somewhat susceptible to being screwed, but still! Oh, he had so much better speed than this in my first playthrough. And in my first playthrough, he needed stat boosters to max out defense, and now it's gone insane, so, yeah. Then again, I guess that's part of the replay value of the series. Even if you use the same characters as you used in an earlier run, they'll never turn out the same. Another Brave weapon. They want to keep that on Mars, actually. And another wave of reinforcements. Now, these ones aren't even anywhere close to reaching us yet, so with the Ogma equipped an axe here, and he was a little under-leveled, but he's probably going to come out of this pretty over-leveled, so yep, see how much experience these guys give you? Now he's level 14. And he only needs, is his strength maxed yet? Maybe, I don't know. Ow. Yeah, you want to make sure all those spears don't gang up on one guy. Fortunately, they are kind of stupid sometimes, but nah, even with weapon finds a disadvantage, he still destroys them. Wow, see, that is an awful lot of experience. Unfortunately, you don't get any experience for dodging, so, yeah. Back in the earlier games, you got a huge amount of, well, at least in FE5, from what I've seen of it, you get a huge amount of experience, just like, well, comparatively huge. You get about, like, 10 just for dodging sometimes. Anyway, going through those chests, more paladins. Is there one more wave of them? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, I just lost track. But anyway, see, Mary Sue's a bit behind. She needs to get a bit more level ups. Okay then. I'm running out of things to talk about, aren't I? Well, I will have more things to talk about once we actually get to the boss of this chapter himself. But you could have quit there. Yeah, her speed's a little unreliable as a paladin. Even Sirius needs a bunch of stat boosters to be able to double things. And yeah, now the Wind Spear is incredibly useful. I'm pretty sure I still have one Wind Spear though. Is it some people say the Wind Spear isn't as useful later in the game? I say otherwise because of this. You know, these are very powerful paladins, and Ashita is taking them down really... Oh, resistance. Well, that's alright. Of course, we're about to face an enemy who ignores our resistance, so... Yeah, I'll talk about him when I get to him, because there's been a bit of a change regarding him compared to the original history of the Emblem. I think Emblem, his time would be better spent healing than, Yeah, see, come on, Sirius, you show him how it's done. His time is probably better spent healing than, actually, Elwyn, I mean, than doing magical damage, and, ooh, yikes, Sirius on low health. Come on, get speed, get speed. Okay, that was weird. He did get speed in some of my crashed runs. Ugh. It's really, really annoying. See, sometimes I can get my emulator working perfectly, no crashes for an entire chapter. And other times it'll crash 5 times before I even start the chapter. So, it can get weird. Oh, not quite enough movement. Anyway, these reinforcements are almost on us, so good thing I sent a bunch of people down to head them off. Might want to heal Katria a bit. Okay, very soon we'll be approaching the throne room. I'll have to get those Now there you'll see how the stat boost changed. Notice how that +2 has gone down to +1? Yeah, that's because his speed cap is 25, and stat boosts from potions and bombs don't let you exceed stat caps. So, yeah. Basically, the +2 has gone down to +1, so that now he still has a total of 25. Want to stay out of range of those guys. Oh, another Master Seal. Not that I really need at this point. Yeah. What's it called? The, Star Spear is the only thing that can allow you to exceed your caps. And, well... Hey, why aren't you dodging? Odd, out-of-character moment for him there. And now will you max speed? Well, you max skill at least. And at least every bit of luck is helpful. Something I actually haven't said yet. In my first playthrough, Narval got luck screwed. With a 70% growth. Yes, I'm not kidding. He only had like 20 at level 20. Ogma had better luck than him, and I'm not joking. That was just ridiculously stupid. I can't believe that actually happened, but yes, in my very first ever playthrough of this game, the Japanese version, Narval got luck screwed. Again, his growth is 70%. I mean, I can see Ryan getting speed screwed, 50%, and again, that's kind of susceptible to being screwed. A 70% growth on the other hand? Ugh. For those of you who want to see what stats my characters had in my original playthrough, I have a bit of a written log of it over on Serenade's Forest. There's a link to it on my YouTube channel page. So I did that back when the game first came out, and I actually did a few random translations of some whole conversations too. Note that most of them are probably really bad compared to, that was my first attempt at translating, and well, a lot of it isn't actually that good. For example, I misinterpreted the constant references to my unit's grandfather as just father, because I looked at the first kanji of the word and was like, hey look, that's the kanji of father, it must be father. No. Yeah. There was a second kanji after that, and it kind of changed its meaning. Yeah, that was really stupid, but anyway then, so if you're interested in what my character's stats looked like back then, yeah, you can look at that if you want. And go Defense Potion, that is helping Katria a lot, but it won't help her against that stupid stage. Yeah, 4 on is really, really nasty. Wow, is it nasty. I mean, it's really powerful, but on top of that, it's got a pretty decent crit rate too. Nice. And it doesn't suffer from thunder magic being really heavy like it did in Path of Radiance, because hey, there is no weight in this game. Speaking of there being no weight, that's really going to impact the battle with Hardin, because in the original Mystery of the Emblem, the Gradivus weighed him down quite substantially. Now, well, there is no weight, so it doesn't weigh him down at all, and that means he gets to use his full speed stat. Now, we don't want to get these two chests with Marth, because the Sniper and much worse, the Dark Mage will attack him. I will talk about the Dark Mage once we get to him, or once I run out of things to say, whichever comes. Wow. If he'd attacked Catria, it may have been all over, but dumb AI. For some reason, Vast is a magnet. Probably because it's low defense, like, oh look, it's a warrior, they have terrible defense. Funnily enough, they actually have better defense than Berserk. Well, probably. Anyway, a lot of reinforcements coming. More Thoron. Thoron is really annoying in this game. Especially, it totally makes up for the enemy's lack of stats. Yeah, okay, first we heal this guy, just so he can actually play his part against the reinforcements, or not. First we heal, I don't know, yeah, Catria needs the healing the most. Though is she still in kill range from, Thorn? Maybe, I don't know. By the way, speaking of Thoron, this really shows that I'm running out of things to say in this chapter. Speaking of Thoron, I laugh so hard when I look at the earlier translations, things like FE4 and FE5, to translated Thoron as Tron. No, it's not a computer hacking spell. Nor does it throw discs at people. Although, funnily enough, in Kingdom Hearts, Tron did specialize in thunder magic, so that's a weird tangent, but yes, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, now we don't want to go there, because that bottom row of this treasure room is where the Dark Mage can attack us. Now, speaking of that Dark Mage, okay, I guess I should talk about him now. He's a sorcerer in this version. In the original Mystery of the Emblem, he was a Dark Mage. Dark Mage was actually a special class that you only saw now. They acted like they were basically recolored bishops. Triple overkill. Anyway, they were basically recolored bishops. They only showed up here, and they were essentially an exclusive class to Garnet's heretic bishops, which they're called. That's a bit of a, what's an alternate because I think they were just called Dark Bishops in the Japanese version. Yeah, I mean, they can't make Dork Bishop jokes, but anyway. Basically, yeah, Dark Mages were a special class unique to, well, no speed again! That's 3 level ups, Ryan! 3 level ups with a 50% growth, oh come on! What is with Ryan's bloody speed growth? Oh. And in my runs where it didn't crash, I actually got good speed with him. Sorry, got interrupted. Anyway, so basically in this game, the Dark Mages have now been changed to Sorcerers, because Dark Mage is now an unpromoted class, and Sorcerers now is promoted equivalent. Which I'm kind of glad at, because in the original Mystery of the Emblem, Dark Mages had a very weird looking map sprite. I might just show it for a few seconds here. Okay, that's really blurry and low resolution, because the original pic for this was incredibly tiny, but you can probably see what I'm talking about. Also, try and imagine it red. This is blue. You will never get a blue Dark Mage in that game, because you never got any playable Dark Mages, not until FE5. But anyway, I digress. Just look at that for a second. Now, see those two, like, shiny dots up the top there? Now, imagine there its eyes, and now imagine that big, gaping, black gap there is its mouth. Don't you think it looks like some kind of demented blob monster? Yeah, I always found the Dark Mage map sprites oddly hilarious. In battle they look fine, but on the map, again, demented blob monster. That's really what I think they look like at that time. Hope someone finds it as amusing as I do. Anyway. And of course, the second thing you probably need to know about that Dark Mage is that I've just shown him there, is that he wields the Glower Tome. Now, Glower wasn't in the original Mystery of the Emblem. In the original Mystery of the Emblem, he used a spell that was known as, well, its translation was kind of different. I mean, some called it Drain, some still called it Dolum or Dorium or something weird like that. I'm not entirely sure what it's actually meant to be, but all I do know is, instead of ignoring your resistance, it cut your HP to 1 when it hit you. Yeah, it was basically the proto-eclipse. And that was pretty dangerous. Of course, I believe if your HP already was 1, it killed you. So it was kind of like the Hell spell in FE4. Oh, don't get me started on Hell. That is really, really... Again, like, even though FE6 Eclipse still cut HP to 1, it had, like... Well, it had accuracy so bad, it would probably never hit you. Like, really never. Like, it had, like, no accuracy, so you never needed to worry about it. I'm gonna look up Serenades Forest right now and check the accuracy on the original Drain spell. Is it? Oh, Dulam, whatever. Okay, hit 60. 60 is, actually, that's fairly high. Let me just check. For comparison, okay, I'll just get up, Eclipse and Hell. For comparison, okay, Hell in FE4 also had 60 hit. And, Eclipse in FE6... I'm sorry. 10 hits. I seriously hope that's a typo. It probably isn't. That's why no one ever needs to worry about Eclipse in that game. I'm sorry. I never even looked at that for ages. And 10 hits. Seriously. In FE7, it had 30 hits. Okay, so that was still pretty bad. Okay, so I guess 60 is pretty ridiculous for a spell that reduces your HP to 1. So, 10 hits. Seriously? Oh, that's hilarious. No wonder it never hit me when I played that game, despite the AI being a blatant cheater. Anyway, right then. So, as you can tell, a HP to 1 spell with 60 hit is pretty ridiculous. And that was taken out of this game because, let's face it, on the higher difficulties, that would just be way too cheap. Oh yeah, you know, we got enemies with super forge weapons and stuff like that. Oh, let's add something that can cut your HP to 1. Yeah, that would be ridiculously stupid. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, bad, bad, bad. Oh, holy crap, this is bad, 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 bad. Now, if Ogma had crit there, he probably would have died. So this is another one of those too much crit will kill you situations, I like to call them. I believe the Japanese actually have a term for that too, what they call killing too many enemies on the enemy phase for your own good, and then getting killed by, stacked up damage from getting attacked too many times. I believe the term they use, according to, an interview with the creator of FE4, is Yatsukemake, and I actually now, have been able to figure out the etymology of that term. Yatsuke is a term that means to beat, or to attack, or to defeat an enemy, specifically. Oh, here's what Growl looks like. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have used Sheeta in hindsight, because her good resistance is now completely negated. I really need to kill that guy, because, now, I may have done something stupid here. Yes, I did something stupid. I was hoping for a crit here, and no crit. Damn it. So, I'm in a bit of a problem. Anyway, what I was saying. So, Yatsuke generally refers to defeating an enemy on the enemy phase. Make simply means defeat or loss. So, it's kind of like, I don't know, beating loss. It's kind of hard to translate, but if you know what the two individual terms that make it up mean, it's pretty obvious what the term refers to. Some things are kind of just easier to understand in Japanese than they are translated. But anyway, yeah, I still kind of like that they have a specific term just for that kind of... Because it happens a lot, it actually does happen a lot. Anyway, right then, now this is a bit of a problem, because we've got a whole bunch of, this point is kind of choked a bit, so we're going to need to clear out some enemies and kill that Dark Mage, because otherwise he's probably going to kill Sheeta. So, let's get rid of him. And yes, even though Glower is essentially a nerfed version of the, whatever it was, the HP to 1 spell from the original Mystery of the Emblem, don't underestimate it, it's still really, really nasty. Like, anything that ignores your resistance, like... Yeah, I mean, it's not FE7 Luna, that was just completely broken, but, I mean, it's still not a nice effect to be under. I mean, it won't crit you as often as Luna, but it does an awful lot of damage, so... Yeah, and there's no real defense against it, and oh yes, one-hit kill, I love one-hit killing mages, it's so satisfying. You know what, the one thing I hate, though, when I'm trying that? Falling 1 HP short of one-hit killing mages. That is really annoying. Remember, Grail did it in a video of showing off in Hacked with Irvan, proving it existed back in Path of Radiance, and he was 1 HP off killing an enemy Sage, and a whole bunch of people laughed at him for doing that. Anyway. Okay, finally time to break out this guy's old... Oh, no, it's not his old lance, because he's a totally different character. Anyway, one of these chests is now safe, so I can grab that for... and another Again Staff! Now, in the original Mystery, this didn't exist, because of course, in that game, 1 Again Staff was already broken enough. In this game, though, considering Again's been nerfed significantly, well, there's a benefit to the nerfing, and that means that you can put multiple ones in the same game. So yes, now there's a second Again Staff. Apparently, you can also get Again Staffs via the online shop, but of course, I'm not going to use that. 1, this is an emulator, I don't have access to online, and 2, well, that would just be way too cheap. Come on, crit. Wow, 436s and no crit. That was, yeah. Now, see that Sage there right next to Hardin? We don't want to attack him in melee range. Oh no, because then Hardin would get us. Yeah, the Grativus is long range, in case you don't know and haven't played Shadow Dragon. It's one of the few, actual, legendary lances that are 1 to 2 ranged. We also want to get rid of this bishop so we can't fortify everyone. Get rid of him in the most painful way imaginable. Goodbye. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, I know that at least one of the legendary lances in FE4 is long-ranged. I've actually forgotten which one it is, and, well, I know there are... But the Grativus is sort of the main one in the series. Of course, legendary throwing axes are even rarer. I know there's the Swan Chinker in the FE4 universe. Swan Chinker, whatever. I can't remember it's pronounced. Anyway, but I can't really think of any more legendary axes that are long range. I mean, there's the Pookie, that's not legendary, but it may as well be given how broken it is. Oh, I love that thing. So broken. I still would probably rank Offin as, probably my favourite axe user in the series. Though Nolan does come very close. Anyway, we are almost ready to take on Hardin, but we're not going to take him on just yet. Marth can... Now, remember what I said before about if you go through the treasure room, you have less room to attack Hardin and less freedom over who to fight him with? Yeah, if you go through the treasure room, you've only got 1 room, and in fact, you actually have to kill Hardin to progress with the rest of the chapter, so... that can be a problem. Again, he has special conversations with both Marth and Mind Demon, so if you want either of those. But due to the way that special boss conversations work in this game, they'll only show once per chapter. I've probably already said this, but basically, and even the regular quote will only show once per chapter, so if you've got the boss's regular quotes, you won't be able to see any of the special boss conversations, which I find really annoying, because in the other games, you could see, any number of special boss conversations. Granted, there aren't many in this game, but the few they are certainly pretty interesting. I mean, there was a whole heap of them with the Charlottes and Shadow Dragon, but, other than him, there weren't many. Now, here you'll notice something interesting about these 2 generals. They presumably just hearing it right now. Wow, 47 and still no crits. Marth is getting really unlucky. Anyway, these 2 generals, for some very bizarre reason, use the boss theme. I have no idea why. I wonder if it's to add to the tension when they're attacking Lydia. I don't know. But yeah, for some reason, I don't think they count as bosses, but they use the boss theme, which is really weird. Oh, just short of killing. Oh, please crit this time. What is this? What's happening to Martha's critical? Oh, this is just completely insane. Also, see those things there, those pillars, that sort of wall of pillars up there? Yeah, that's actually not classed as pillar terrain, that's classed as a wall. So you can't, that's actually totally impassable. Which means that, yeah, anyone who goes through the treasure room is funneled directly towards Hardin. And will have to defeat him in order to progress. So that's one of the problems with taking the treasure room route. But I would advise that in the higher difficulties, because it's much better than fighting a superpowered Earth Dragon. Of course, the Earth Dragon was pathetic in this mode, and hey, we got the Brave Lance. That might come in handy. Speaking of brave weapons, they'll probably come in handy for fighting Hardin. I should probably talk about how fighting him is going to work right now, because I'm probably going to start fighting him after I hit the next save point. On normal mode, Hardin has 20s and everything, and as a result, he's kind of, he's not actually really all that hard. You can really just wail on him with anyone, doubling him is relatively easy, and, well, he kind of goes down pretty quickly. In Hard, simply by giving him an extra 4 points of speed, they've made him quite a different challenge. Now, 24 speed is not enough, 24 speed can only double someone with 20 speed or less. And unless you've got a really heavy armor knight, in fact chances are even armor knights will have better speed than that by this point, so 24 speed, generally, he will not be doubling many of your characters unless you've got someone really, really weak here. On the other hand, you need 28 speed or more in order to double him. And that's a pretty tall order. Really only Swordmasters can get that high. So basically, he exists in a bit of a strange speed bracket. While it's difficult for him to double you, it's also very hard for you to double him. And unless you're using the Swordmaster, you're not going to be doubling him, so that's kind of difficult. Of course, on Lunatic mode, or should I say Insane mode now, he has 30 speed, and is flat out impossible to double. You'd need 34 speed to double that, and the highest speed you could possibly achieve is 32, I believe. That is maxed out speed on a Swordmaster with the Light Sphere. No, Star Sphere, sorry. Star Sphere plus 2 gives you 32 speed. Which means you can't actually double, and Elrond is finally A in Stars. Wow, he got there pretty quickly, considering he was C at the start of the last chapter. So now he can finally use Fortify, which means I can finally dump Militia forever. Marth will rejoice. No more Crazy Stalker. And that saves a slot, because I know who I'm going to have to drop for the final chapter, because I'm going to have to drop quite a few people. Anyway though, probably time to save, and take on the Dark Emperor himself. So now we're just about ready to attack Hardin, but we need to make a few preparations. First we need to ensure that we actually have some form of healing. Preferably physic, because otherwise your healer will be exposed to Hardin's attacks, and you really don't want that. Now I can attack him right now, but what I want is I want the Geosphere to be in range. I also want this guy gone, because otherwise, yeah, you don't want Hardin to hit you and then have the Swarm finish you off. Right, now it's finally time to fight. With a 47 crit chance, I fancy taking my chances here. Oh, really, Hardin? Well, hello. I have absolutely no connection to Nina whatsoever. But if you did anything to hurt her, I'll destroy you! Sorry, I always like to fight him with Sirius just because of that very fact. In all my playthroughs, even in the original Mystery of the Emblem, I always had Sirius fight Hardin. It just felt right to me. You know, because he's totally not, you know, someone who cares about Nina's safety. No, he's totally not. No, that guy. Anyway, right, Hardin does recover an awful lot of HP, and he seems to be breaking the HP cap too, so that's interesting. And crit, nice, there we go. Another crit will probably bring him down. You want to try and crit Hardin as much as possible, otherwise he's quite durable. Well, that stupid bishop is not helping. Die, please. Thank you. Right then, now yeah, Hardin hits you pretty hard, so you want to have at least, you know, someone with physics staff. Again, physics staff, make sure you're using the physics staff, otherwise there's a very good chance that your staff user is going to get countered by Hardin, and that's not good. Really not good, because considering how hard it hits Sirius, and Sirius has over 20 defense with all his boosts. Yeah. Then again, Elwyn does have freakishly high defense, but still, I mean, you do not want your mages to take a Gradius hit. Now, you do actually want Hardin to go down as fast as possible, if only because it'll save on uses of the Gradius. In the original Mystery of the Emblem, the items dropped by enemies were always a copy of the actual item and not the actual item they were wielding. Kind of weird. So basically, how it worked in the original Mystery of the Emblem was, enemies had both a regular inventory and a droppable item inventory. So Hardin in his regular inventory has a Gradius. Now that one could be used and break and run out of uses as usual. And then in his droppable inventory, he had another Gradius, which was the one dropped. So I guess there were technical limitations back there that prevented them from dropping the actual same physical item. But yeah, so apparently you don't have to worry about items running out of use in that game while they were being held by the enemy. In this game you do. So you really don't want Hardin to run out the Gradius down in terms of uses. Of course, we do have the Hammer and Staff back, but that's only got 3 uses in this game compared to used to have 12 in Shadow Dragon, which was ridiculous, and it worked on Dragonstones. Again though, the other thing that makes the Hardin battle take longer than it should is because if you want to fight it with multiple characters, you'll need to trade the Light Sphere around, which gets a bit annoying. Speaking of Hardin, his battle theme. Yeah, it's really nice. Hardin also has the unique Emperor class, which is different to the Emperor class in MD4, which was basically a promoted Baron that could use all weapons. In this game, they can only use lances. So, yeah, kind of like a parallel to Zephyr's King class that could only use swords. It's pretty similar. Hardin was the first of these bosses that like worked like a dragon or a sorcerer or a god, and finally, for Nina! And he's down. Sorry, you can just listen to the theme now here. And also, this is a nice touch, Hardin reverting to his unpossessed state just as he died. The original Mystery of the Emblem didn't have this. Instead, they just simply swapped back to Hardin's normal portrait from Book 1, which was a bit weird because it meant he suddenly had a turban, which magically appeared out of nowhere. But now they've actually got a new sprite. It's the same as Emperor's sprite, and he doesn't have the creepy pale face and red eyes. So yeah, a lot of people feel really sad for Hardin, especially in terms of those last few words, but I'll go on about that later. For defeating him, we get the Gradius, finally, it's lost 5 uses, and the Dark Sphere. And with that, after we do something with it, by the power of the 5 orbs combined, the Binding Shield is restored! Interestingly enough, this little sound effect here only played when you restored the shield in the original game. Now, I'm not going to have Marth C's just yet, because Julian has yet to get to that chest over the other side of the map. Anyway, now if you look at the Binding Shield here, you'll see that it raises all stats by 2. That's the same as the Star Sphere. This is presumably because the shield itself actually has the Star Sphere embedded in it. So, however, at this point though, the Star Sphere, just leveling up Phoenix here, at this point though, the Star Sphere's effect is now stuck on Marth. Marth cannot trade the Binding Shield away, and it's only usable by him, which means that yes, from now on we've lost the effect of all the spheres. The Star Sphere's effect is still present in that +2 to everything, but now Marth is the only one who gets it. It effectively means that all his stats cap at, I should be ready to see soon. It effectively means that all his stats cap at 27, instead of 25. But it also means the other spheres don't need to be used. However, here's another interesting thing about Hardin and the spheres. You see, Hardin will only drop the Dark Sphere if you've obtained all the other 4 spheres. This is presumably to stop players from using it on Wi-Fi. So basically, if you don't have the other 4 spheres and the game ends now, you won't be able to use the Dark Sphere on Wi-Fi. Speaking of the game ending now, all the clerics are back, and it looks like they're safe, they're so happy, and now, If you haven't fully restored the Binding Shield, the game ends here. If you have, on the other hand... Hey, what's wrong with Nina? Huh? Why is the Binding Shield flashing? What's this? Hey, wait a minute. Those aren't clerics. It's Vloximort and the Death Dealers. I mean Garnef and Heretic Bishops. Sorry. Anyway, basically, yeah, those guys are all Garnef and his evil priests in disguise, which lends a considerable amount of disturbing factor to the quote-unquote bad ending, even though it doesn't really imply that anything that bad has actually happened. Well, there's a lot of kind of horror factor if you think about it. I mean, the so-called clerics, who are everyone's, loved ones, they're actually Garnef's evil henchmen in disguise. So, it's implied that possibly Garnef and his sorcerers just kill everyone afterwards if you don't have the Binding Shield. But anyway, with the restoration of the shield, another thing I want to say about the shield. If you've restored the shield and the Earth Dragon is still alive, it will banish the Earth Dragon at the start of your phase. This will become important later on, but for the time being, just remember that if you're playing on the high difficulties and don't want to fight the Earth Dragon, you don't have to. The Binding Shield will take care of it for you, provided that you defeat Hardin first. Anyway, yep, like we said, we've got to go to the Dragon's Altar and steal away the Earth Dragons, and so the final leg of the game begins. And of course, this is only accessible if you have the Binding Shield. So anyway, we'll be progressing on to that. Or not, because we've got one more side quest to do. The leader of the assassins is still at large. Now, of course, Jagan says yes, they were dispatched by Hardin and Garnef. They were used to help kidnap the clerics, and also just to generally stop Marth's progress. This is the final side quest, and as I said, the leader of the assassins is still at large, and we're going to need to do something about that. So if you haven't got the Binding Shield, then this subplot is left with no conclusion, which is really annoying. So in order to get this side quest, you need to finish this chapter in 24 turns on normal, 28 turns on hard, 33 turns on maniac, 38 on lunatic, or 42 on lunatic reverse. That is very generous. But the alternate condition, in case you fail that, is that the Binding Shield must be obtained and 3 or more of Roshi, Violence, Sedga, Wolf, and Lydia are recruited and alive. And I should also mention, this scene here with Katarina only shows up if you recruit her, obviously. So anyway, since all 5 of those characters are alive, we can go ahead and go on to that next side quest, and in fact, the last side quest. So I'll see you then. But first, I have a tiny amount of bonus material to show. Firstly, I thought I may as well show off Marth and Merixu's quote with Hardin here. Plus, you can never get enough of this guy's awesome theme music. And that's basically it. Merixu's one. The translators actually localized this a little bit. In the original Japanese, this line was basically just, Dark Emperor Hardin, I am your opponent. And we get to see Hardin's dodge animation, so... And last, and certainly least, we have a bite-sized edition of the Fail Channel! So this is how my first battle with Hardin went. It was off to a good start, with serious nailing and critical right off the bat, but things rapidly went downhill. Next turn. And the next one. Turn 3. Turn 4. Turn 5. Turn 6, and you know what, by this point I pretty much just gave up. That's right, 6 consecutive turns with a 47% crit rate and no criticals. Despite the fact that Sirius, earlier on in Chapter 18, criticaled 3 times in a row with a 12%. Oh, RNG, how you love to troll me sometimes.